What's going on, guys? My name is Abe and I'm with LTH, and in this series I'm going to teach you about Linux. Everything you need to learn. Go ahead and pause this video right now so you can read over this list or find our playlist on our channel down below, as well as all the links and commands will be linked on our website down below in the description. So let's get on with today's specific video. Alright guys, welcome to episode 2. In this episode, we're going to cover the most basic parts of the command line and the most common commands that you will use. If you want to know what those commands are ahead of time, go ahead and click in the description, our website, where you can read our article, as well as the table overviewing all the commands that we are using. So I'm going to click my Windows key and type terminal and click enter to open our terminal, and then Control-Shift+ a couple times to make my command prompt a little bit bigger for you guys to read. And then I'm going to paste in this command. So sudo is giving us privileged users. We're going to go out and apt update and sudo apt upgrade to force those updates automatically with one command. And since we're running this as sudo, we are going to have to type in our password. So go ahead and pause this video until your Linux distribution is completely updated with all the latest repos, distribution packages, whatever updates that Linux may have pushed to your specific distro. Alright, so now that it is updated, I'm just going to do Control-L to clean my terminal to make it nice and clean. And so the first command I want to cover is echo. So we can simply type echo just like that, and then type something like hello world, and we can see we get hello world just like that. So that is just a command that you'll use for like displaying text strings or variables or other things to the command prompt. I just want you to know it's there. We'll go into more depth at a later time. The next command that we want to cover is pwd, print working directory. So this will tell you where you are currently within Linux. This can help so you know where you're saving files, where you need to call to files, so on and so forth. Again, I just want you to know it's there. As you install or use Linux, you will find reasons of why you need printing working directory. The next command I want to cover is ls, which is list directories. And so in the case of list directories, we can do just ls, which shows us all the other folders that are within this file structure. So going down even one more. So we're in the user's learn profile, and then he has a desktop, a documents folder, a downloads folder, so on. We can also do ls-l, and then we can see the permissions for that specific document as well as when it was created. And we will go into that deeper at a later time. The next command I want to show you guys is touch. So touch will create an empty file for us to use. So we could do like touch example.txt, and now we can see nothing happen, right? Which is actually good that we didn't get an error message. So you'll find out within Linux that not having an error message is a good thing. And so when I type ls, we can now see there is this example.txt file that wasn't there before. The next thing the next command that I wanted to show you is the file command. So let's say we don't know what something is. We can type it in here. And then example file, text file, empty. So we could also do downloads, and we can see directory, right? So that is the difference. It will tell you what it is. The next thing I want to cover is cat. And so that will display the file in the terminal. So if I do cat example.txt, we can see nothing comes out because this file is empty. So let me nano, which is another command, into this file and test information you should see. I'm going to click Control X the letter Y to save and enter. And then I'm going to use my up arrows to cat this file one more time. And now we can see that information within the command prompt when we use cat. So the next command we can talk about is less. And then in less, we can see that it puts us in a terminal where it's now showing the end of the information, but we could use like page up and page down on our keyboard like this to see any more information within this file. And we could do Control C. My bad. We would do colon the letter Q to exit less, not Control C. The next command we can type out is history. So history will show us the previous commands that we have typed out. So maybe you forgot a command, you need to write a command down, or you want to see in what order did you perform some commands so you could write it down for like documentation sake. That's how you would do it. So I'm going to type ls real quick one more time, and we can see we have our example txt file still here. The next command I want to talk about is copy, and that is just done with cp. So if I copy the file example txt, I'm going to put a space and then name this file something else. So I'll do example2.txt. And now when I type ls again, we can see that we have a new file named example. So if I nano into example2.txt, there is that same information in there. So it's creating an exact replica, quite literally copying a file. You could also put that file in a different directory. So you could like put it in like space / home / wherever, right? Like we'll just say /home / example with no space, and that allows you to copy a file to a different directory as well if you so choose to. Now, a command similar to that is the move command, and instead of copying the file, it will actually move that file to the other location. So I'm going to put this file in the /downloads folder, and it wants us to sudo. And it's also case sensitive. So now if I click ls, we can see that is actually missing. Now I will show in a little bit how to find that file once we moved it. But first we're going to cover making a directory. So this is mk for make and dir for directory, and then test dir. So if I do that and it's done, it made that directory. Once again, no errors is good. So if I ls, so now we can see that that test directory is right there after we made the directory. Now we can do remove directory with rmdir test directory, and that will remove it. Now if we want to remove a file, we will do the same command, but just rm and then the file name like example.txt, okay? So those are the two ways to remove files. Now the next command I want to show you is find. So with find, we can do a dot to find anything with the directory or name or whatever matching, dash name, and then what the name of the file is, and it will tell us where that file is located. So the other command I want to show is just ls -- help. So the command we're really talking about is -- help. And we can see in here, when I do a -- help after any command, we will essentially get a manual on how to use whatever the command is. So in this case, listing services, like listing directory services. We can see if we put like a -a flag or -- all does not ignore entries starting with a period. Or we can do, let's see, what do we got here? No group, and a long listing don't print group names, right? Or whatever. So that is one way to figure out how to use a tool with -- help. Another one we can do it just similar is man ls, And so this gives you a manual, but now you have lines, right? So you could actually just use your page up and page down keys to get to the next thing. So this will go exactly to the next line that wasn't showing, just using page up and page down. And then you can look through all the flags to figure out what you need to use specifically. And then we can just do H for help or Q to quit, just like that. Now we can also use the tool whatis, ls, to find a name. In this case, it looks like, oh, it's because I have a typo. Whatis, ls will tell you what it is, or what is pwd, prints name of current working directory. So maybe you don't know what something does, but if you type it in, it can help you get clarity, okay? So the next command I want to talk about is alias. So the command alias, and then the name for the alias, and then equals what we want the command to type out. So if we just typed out the alias name, it will then perform this command for us. So if I just type ll, we can see that now it does this command ls-l for us. So maybe you have a command you use a lot or you repeat a lot. It would be good just to give it an alias so you don't have to keep using your up arrows to find that command or whatever it is. Now we can unalias just like this, ll, and then when I type ll again, we can see the command is not found. So the last part for this video is exit. When you're done with something, you may need to exit or close a terminal session. You can type exit and click enter, and it removes you from that specific terminal or environment that you are logged into within that terminal, like SSH. That's it for this video. Remember, there are notes down below on our website. Stay tuned for further projects because we have some super big things coming. My name is Abe, signing off with another video.